You're listening to OROMO First Post, bringing you focused analysis from the heart of East Africa. Today, we return to a rapidly developing story at the intersection of national security, regional diplomacy, and long-standing ethnic tensions. This unfolding crisis involves Ethiopia, Sudan, and an increasingly visible shadow movement, Army 70, a rearmed military unit reportedly loyal to the Tigray People's Liberation Front, TPLF, now operating on Sudanese soil, a high-level mission from Addis Ababa. In recent days, the Ethiopian government dispatched a senior diplomatic and intelligence delegation to Port Sudan, signaling the seriousness with which Addis Ababa views this situation. On board were Temesgen Tiruneh, the head of the Ethiopian National Intelligence and Security Service, NISS, and Ambassador Redwan Hussein, a close advisor to Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed on East African affairs. This is not just a routine diplomatic mission. It's a strategic response to what Ethiopia perceives as an existential threat on its western flank, a threat it believes could reignite broader instability in the Horn of Africa. The rise of Army 70. The core concern? Army 70, a group of Tigrayan fighters who retreated into Sudan after the 2022 Pretoria peace agreement that formally ended active hostilities between the federal government and the TPLF. While the peace deal demobilized many forces, credible intelligence, including recent photographs, satellite footage, and online video clips, suggests Army 70 has not disbanded. Far from it. Instead, this unit appears to have regrouped, rearmed, and reorganized inside Sudan. One widely circulated video shows soldiers in what appears to be anti-drone combat gear, an alarming development for a militia. Another captures what experts have identified as a modern armored personnel carrier, APC, parked suspiciously close to the area where Tigrayan fighters have been observed. Where are these weapons coming from? Who is training them? Is the Sudanese armed forces complicit, or simply incapable of halting foreign militia buildup within its fractured borders? These are the questions Addis Ababa is urgently asking, both publicly and in back-channel talks. Proxy politics in a shifting region. At first glance, Army 70 might look like a rogue militia, but Ethiopian security analysts and foreign policy observers see something far more dangerous, a potential proxy force. In the volatile landscape of East Africa, non-state armed groups are rarely independent. They are often used, or enabled, by regional powers to destabilize rivals or gain leverage in negotiations. Ethiopia fears that Army 70 could become a strategic pawn not only for the TPLF but for foreign actors with grievances or ambitions in the region, particularly Eritrea and Egypt. Eritrea, which shares deep animosity with the TPLF despite its past alliance, could view Army 70's reemergence as a destabilizing force to pressure the Ethiopian federal government. Egypt, embroiled in long-standing tensions with Ethiopia over the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, GERD, may also benefit indirectly from instability that weakens Ethiopia's internal unity and diplomatic standing. Add to this the territorial dispute over Wolkate, a region claimed by both Tigrayans and Amharas, and you have a flashpoint that could ignite again, especially if militarized actors are allowed to operate freely across borders. So, the UAE, RSF, and broader Sudanese chaos, this military diplomatic journey to Port Sudan is also entangled in Ethiopia's complex regional relationships. Ethiopia has been nurturing close ties with the United Arab Emirates, a major player in Sudan's ongoing civil war through its alleged support for the Rapid Support Forces, RSF, the paramilitary faction battling Sudan's National Army, SAF. Ethiopia is walking a delicate tightrope. On one hand, it has offered itself as a mediator between the warring Sudanese factions, trying to de-escalate a conflict that could spill into neighboring states. On the other, it is now drawing red lines. Any use of Sudanese territory by armed groups like Army 70 to launch attacks on Ethiopian soil will not be tolerated. This message is both a diplomatic warning and a strategic declaration. Ethiopia is prepared to act if provoked. South Sudan and the refugee dimension. Meanwhile, South Sudan adds another layer to this volatile mix. Its oil exports, the lifeblood of its economy, flow through pipelines in Sudan. The fighting between the RSF and SAF has disrupted these routes repeatedly, causing economic distress in Juba. There's also the growing refugee crisis. Thousands have fled Sudan into South Sudan and Ethiopia. Inside Sudan, some South Sudanese are being accused of siding with the RSF, further complicating ethnic and political alliances. The region is a pressure cooker of military actors, shifting loyalties and economic desperation.